There are a lot of words you could use to describe the Anaheim Ducks 2023-24 season. And I guess for my season prediction video, you could call it disappointing. I thought the Ducks would hit 73 points for a 15-point improvement from the year prior, but they still wouldn't make the playoffs. So I got that right. In reality, they improved just 1 point, but that really doesn't tell the whole story. The three biggest issues this season were no doubt injuries, penalties, and special teams. Obviously, the biggest issue this season was injuries. The Ducks had the 7th most man games lost this season. Shocked we're not number one. Every game, someone would go out and someone would come back in. Like you could probably count on your hands the number of games in which a player did not get hurt. And you probably only need one hand. And almost all the injuries were to the Ducks' main players. You could blame a lot of the bad penalties and special teams on injuries, but some of the things that happened were inexcusable. The Ducks were the most penalized team in the league by far. Actually, looking at it now, the Panthers went insane towards the end of the year to at least make it look closer. The Ducks also had the least power play opportunities. Look, I know I have joked about refs being biased or whatever since 2000, but in reality, the Ducks were really just stupid. And it's always fun just to blame the refs on our own team's stupidness. Like, the final total was 11 too many men called this season. That's like 3 more than the next team. That's just being lazy from the head coach down. I will say, it also didn't help that Cronin made a ref sad early in the season too. And when you take a lot of penalties, you better have good special teams. And the Ducks didn't. Somehow, the Ducks didn't have the worst power play in the league, at only 8th worst. I don't get how. I guess for Toronto was just hard carrying. Also, we haven't gotten any news on Neil Brown. His contract is up, but I would like some confirmation he is not coming back. The Ducks' penalty kill was actually worse than the power play, at 2nd worst in the league, and not that far from number 1. So Beaker better be cleaning house on those assistants and training staff. Just a box of chocolate season. You never knew what you were going to get from the Ducks. It started so high with all the crazy comebacks, and it was giving us so much hope for the season. Then, the Florida no-goal game, and things changed. Yes, I'm calling this the turning point in our season. After that, things went on a roller coaster of injuries and inconsistency on the ice. Unlike a roller coaster, though, the Ducks season did not end at the bottom. They ended on a high, with their last 10 games or so actually looking like good, consistent hockey. Heck, we ended the season beating the Knights, absolutely savage by Double Hockey Stix here, which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Double Hockey Stix. They have over 700 different products on their site and adding more every day, including these slides coming out Friday. Perfect time for summer. I'll be buying a Terry pair using the code DuckMyLife10 at checkout for 10% off. Be sure to follow all their socials to stay up to date on new products coming out. Thank you again for the sponsor, Double Hockey Stix. For fun, I went back and watched my season prediction video, and while there are a lot of bad takes, I got some things right. The video was actually pretty funny if you go back and watch it. I just recommend you watch it at 1.5 speed or something, because I feel like I talked really slow in it, or maybe I just talked too fast now. But anywho, I said 3 things would have to happen for the Ducks to make the playoffs, and none of those things came true. Number 1, John Gibson has to have an elite Vezina caliber season. Nope. Number 2, the young players all take a step forward, break through, and the offense explodes. The young players did take a step, but not to the expectations I thought they would have. And the offense didn't explode. They actually scored 1 less goal than last season. And number 3, by far my worst take, no major injuries. Yep, I put the curse on the Ducks this season saying this. Sorry, y'all. The whole roster was constantly changing, especially the top 6. We are very thin on roster depth. This was a major problem too. This season was about growth, and we didn't see the growth in the way we expected, but this season was still a step in the right direction. The Ducks were historically bad the year before, and you could see moments where they still looked like that same team with struggling to get shots on net and giving up a lot too. It wasn't as bad as last season. There was like a couple months it really reminded how bad last season was, and I couldn't wait for the season to be over. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed this season. And for the most part, the Ducks competed, they just couldn't compete with a lack of talent and depth. To be honest, I don't really want to call this season a wash because it was a great development year for the young kids, and more kids than we were expecting. But with the amount of injuries and players being forced into unsuitable roles, it kind of feels like it. It's kind of unfair to blame some of them for their bad situations they were put in at times. Here's to a better season next year. Things are going to look a lot different, that's for sure. I didn't really touch much on individual players. I want to do a player grade rankings video, so that will probably be next. didn't want to put too much in one video. What are your overall thoughts on the season as a whole? If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!